Hey, what's up everyone? So I'm going to do a full follow-up video on my Street Fighter V review. I'm going to break down the reviews in parts. First will be the core version of the game. Then I'll go over the DLC characters and updates. Then I will go over the story mode DLC, A Shadow Falls. As far as the game goes, oh my gosh, this game feels incomplete. Mainly because there's no arcade mode, or other ways to grind fight money. Let me recap for the fight money. You see, in this game, in order to unlock the free DLC characters, you need a certain amount of fight money. There's many methods of getting fight money. You could play survival mode on each difficulty once. Yes, once. You won't get any fight money if you want to grind on survival mode multiple times with that same character. Another way to gain fight money is to beat the story mode for each character. But just like survival mode, you only gain fight money once it's completed. So there's no rinse and repeat once you get the fight money. You could also unlock fight money by playing ranked matches, which I was all for, but the game will make it unplayable. I mean seriously, I get more rage quits than actual victories on the game. Capcom has stated that they will be more aggressive on punishing rage quitter, but on my behalf, I've seen nothing done, and honestly, it's a waste of time. The biggest gripe when it comes to rage quitting is that you're waiting on the main hub, you finally get an opponent, you figure out the opponent's strategy, and you're about to win, just by one hit, and you lose connection with your opponent. And you know what's the worst part? According to the game's history, the match never happened. There's no record of the fight existing. Thank goodness for PlayStation game captures. I feel like the game could take examples from other fighting games. For example, on Killer Instinct, if you rage quit, you will get an L, no questions about it. If you quit, you take a loss and lose ranking points, and the person who stays in the match takes a win. It's simple. So what I'm trying to say is, it sucks playing single player on Street Fighter, especially when you want to unlock stuff in the game. Single player only consists of tutorial, training, story, and survival mode. And like I said earlier, it needs a arcade mode desperately. One could say, oh, but you could play character story mode. That could be your arcade mode. No, just no. That's a horrible way to play arcade. And you know why? Because it's only one round, and the majority of each character story is like 1 or 2 fights. That's horrible. Guys, I want you to know, I really want to like this game, but no, it's unacceptable. So, what if you don't want to grind for fight money? Is there another way to get those free DLC characters? Of course, you have to get the Street Fighter V Season Pass. The Season Pass includes all 6 characters, you get a premium costume for each of those 6 characters, a PlayStation theme, and some avatars, and it still feels incomplete. I unfortunately got the Season Pass. Here's what's included. So first, let's start with the theme for PlayStation 4. It's basically a wallpaper with Chun-Li, and I think it sucks. They should have gotten something like a theme with all the characters, or at least Ryu. The avatars added is cool, but I know I really won't be using them. The avatars are Ryu, Chun-Li, and the Dictator Bison. The 6 DLC characters are Alex, Gao, Ibuki, Balrog, Juri, and Urien. I'll break down the characters and show off their premium costumes as well. I already made a video about Alex and Gao, but I'll do a recap. Alex is a pretty fun character to play with. He's a grapple type. I'm glad he's on the roster, but I felt like his plot in the story mode really didn't have an impact. The game script used the "it was a dream but it felt real" cliche, and it really didn't bring anything solid to the table when it comes to the character development when it comes to Alex. For the most part, Gao still plays the same. The only thing that looks different is his creep walk. His plot in the story mode was nothing major, but it looks like he's still after Shadowloo. As he was pursuing Juri and Vega, it was also cool to see Abel in the story. But you know what I would like better? If Abel was a playable character. Yeah, there's a lot of cameos when it comes to the story of these characters. Balrog plays the same from the previous Street Fighter games. He is a charge-based character that packs a mean punch. No pun intended since he's a boxer type. In the plot, he's mainly interacting with Urien and Ed. Who's Ed, you ask? Well, not much is known about him. We first see Ed in Balrog's ending in Super Street Fighter 4 whatever edition. But it's implied that he's the next host for Bison's body. Actually, now that I think about it, he does have some psycho powers in Balrog's story mode. Sorry, this became more of a discussion about Ed instead of Balrog. But anyways, Balrog is kind of a double-agent spy for Shadowloo in the Illuminati in Street Fighter V. He's mainly known as a henchman for Shadowloo, but in this game he's running the remains of Shadowloo aside from Bison, Vega, and F.A.N.G. F.A.N.G, whatever his name is, that guy. Anyways, he later negotiates business with Urien, but it was turned down. Juri is a pretty cool character. I love her role in Street Fighter 4. Her moveset is kind of different compared to her previous version in Street Fighter 4. I will say this about Juri. She's pretty easy to use and one of the characters easy to beat survival mode with. Her story mode starts off by confronting Bison, and I think she loses her eye to him. A few months later, she fights Balrog. Ed intertwines with the fight, and she is confronted by a cameo from Crimson Viper. She later goes snooping around in the Shadowloo base until F.A.N.G fights her. In the end, it looks like she ends up working with the Illuminati. Ibuki is a great addition to the roster. She's actually one of my favorite characters back in Street Fighter 3 and 4. Her moveset is quite different compared to her previous versions, but it's nothing big to complain about. For examples, I can't do the air kunai attack. She also has some additional moves like a floating maneuver and an attack as well, and a barrage of kunai when using her V trigger. When it's full, you can also launch a bomb attack as well. Her outfits are completely different, but I dig them. Her role in the story is pretty brief. Basically, she's invited by Karin to her mansion for a party. She got the idea that she will meet hot guys at a party. And I'm sorry, there's something about this scene that looks kinda wrong. Keep looking. A very young Asian chick with older men. Bukaki! Anyways, the whole invitation to Karin's party was just to test Ibuki's skills. She fights Birdie and Karin in the story mode from what I recall. Urien is the last DLC character in the roster. His iconic quote-unquote outfit is not in the game, but it can be unlocked by holding some inputs during the character select and loading screen. It's been a while since I played Urien in Street Fighter 3, but I do remember he's a charge-based character. I think his moveset is similar to that game. His part in the story mode is what links the Illuminati with Shadowloo. Mainly interacted with Balrog, but had a change of heart when negotiating. So that's everything that was from the base form of Street Fighter V, including the Season Pass. Now let's talk about the updates. The first thing to mention is the free story mode DLC called A Shadow Falls. This was added around the summer, around July during E3 weekend, I believe. The story was a good attempt to get Street Fighter fans invested back into the game. However, I felt like it was a short-lived success. A Shadow Fall has a total of 5 acts with a varied numbers of chapters. The premise of the story was to take down Shadowloo. Shadowloo has these chess pieces that control these Black Moons. The Black Moons are Doomsday's device that are the main key point to the story. I'll probably have a separate video and details about the story mode, but overall, the story mode did tease us at the time before launch of the characters that we didn't have at the time, like Juri, Urien, Balrog, and Ibuki. These characters at the time weren't available to play with when the story first launched. We also get to see a lot of NPC characters in the game, like Abel from Street Fighter 4, Shawn from Street Fighter 3, Ed, the kid that is always following Balrog, and the dolls. I believe we get to fight all the dolls in story mode. They all have different interesting movesets, but in a way they're similar to Cammy. The main focus of story mode is all the other characters are trying to take down Bison and Shadowloo. And it's crazy because everyone else is heavily involved, but the main poster boy Ryu is barely in the story. The story mode could last about 3 to 4 hours, and there's 2 difficulties, which is normal and extra. You will earn fight money by completing each mode. Normal, you will get about 30,000 fight money, and extra you will get 50,000. A Shadow Falls story mode is a good addition to Street Fighter V. The cinematic cutscenes is pretty cool to see. After the release of all 6 DLC characters, Capcom has updated the game with more ways to gain fight money. The game will have challenges for limited days and then it constantly updates. For the most part, these challenges are easy to do, and some are crypted in the story mode to get. And to be honest, I haven't played Street Fighter V since GAO was released in the spring, and I kind of stopped playing Street Fighter V. But now that these challenges are available, I now play this game once or twice a week. Another update that was added was challenges for each character to learn their combos, which I believe is something that should have been in the base of the game. So if you want to learn normal and advanced combos, these challenges are worth trying out. Street Fighter V added the best 2 out of 3 matches for multiplayer, so you could get the options for a rematch, and if it's a tie, you could break the tie. Capcom claims that they've been more aggressive on the multiplayer ranked matches, but honestly, it's not much on my end. It came to a point where I'm fighting people on ranked matches, and my opponent will rage quit. Then, I'll just have another match. Then, rage quit. Go back to another match, rage quit. Then, what the heck? Why the heck did I get penalized? Did I get penalized because there were many disconnects? Even though I wasn't rage quitting? What the heck? This game is broken. Anyways, the so-called penalty is that you lose 1,000 league points, which will definitely drop your rank and you have a wait time to play online again. You know what I hate about rage quitting on Street Fighter V? Aside from an incomplete fight, if you look at the archives on your ranked matches, the fight that was disconnected never happened. It never existed. So if you see someone online on ranked matches with a long winning streak, there's a chance that that person rage quit before they lost the match. Their win streak would not be affected by rage quitting. Why can't Capcom take examples like Mortal Kombat X and Killer Instinct? If you rage quit, you will take a loss. No questions about it. You lose. Heck, even on the archives on Killer Instinct, the match is still there with the rage quit. If I didn't make it clear, the multiplayer aspect of Street Fighter V isn't really appealing. Another random thing that happens during ranked matches is that sometimes I get a message saying that data failed to retrieve. Why is that? Did my opponent rage quit and I can't get any fight money? Did I rage quit in the past? Or did Capcom servers rage quit on the entire game? Another addition to Street Fighter V are more DLC costumes, stages, colors, and so on to purchase. Some of them are like bonus stages, like a Halloween stage, Halloween costumes, so that's pretty cool. Some could be purchased by fight money and real money, and the majority you can unlock by buying with real money. So here's my question. What happens when you unlock all the content that requires fight money, and the remaining items are only unlockable if you buy them with real money? I'm sorry. The game kinda gets unplayable. And let's just say you're going out of your way to buy everything with real money. You're going to be paying around $300 for content for an incomplete game. That includes characters, stages, colors, themes, and costumes. Nah. Capcom has announced Akuma and some new stages, by the way, which means more grinding for fight money. So I'm guessing there's going to be a season 2 for Street Fighter V. Hopefully Capcom will improve playability for this game, because no matter how you look at it, no matter what version of the game, no matter what you unlock in the game, the current game feels incomplete. Here's what I mean. I made it obvious that the base game is incomplete. If you buy the collector's edition, it's still incomplete. Heck, even the soundtrack that you get with the collector's edition is incomplete. You get teaser songs. If you buy the season pass, it still feels like it's missing something. So, now that all 6 DLC characters are now available, a Shadow Falls story mode is available, challenges are now available, and all these updates are added, does Street Fighter V hold up to be a big deal for the fighting game genre? No. I'm sorry, but if you're making a fighter game, you need a arcade mode. That's like eating a hamburger without the meat. Hopefully Street Fighter V will get updates for an arcade feature. Every time I play this game, I feel bittersweet. I feel great that I'm playing a new Street Fighter title, but I feel disappointed because there's no arcade mode. Overall, Street Fighter V with all its update is somewhat playable, but it could get redundant real quick. As far as 2016 is concerned with Street Fighter V updated, the game is at least moderately average. So with that being said, I'm gonna go play some Shadow Lords on Killer Instinct. If you guys like what you see, leave a like. Also, if you have any experience, good or bad, that you want to share about Street Fighter V, by all means, feel free to comment. Anyways, I am out. Peace.
PlayStation